Right, we are now recording. What time is it over there? It must be really early, is it?
Just 8 o'clock in the morning. It's not too early.
8 o'clock Sunday morning.
Yes,
What are you normally doing at 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning?
sitting around.
Chilling out.
Yeah, the girls wake up slowly, so we give them time to wake up because the rest of the week is so chaotic.
I can imagine. I can imagine. Right, let's get to it. This is going to be a little bit of coaching me through uh, why I can't find my why.
Well,
Right?
that's I think that hit it on the head with your frustrations. It's like I'm not saying you're condescending all the time, but it's like these people don't understand what it is they're getting or what I'm trying to say, or I ask a question in the forum and nobody really understands or answers, or it's like there is going to be a certain amount of disengagement from anybody, but you're I think you need to do a lot more to get your point across. Like, what's your why? Why do you want to do this? Because you always say you talk to new students or potential new students, you give them the what you're going to do for them, how you're going to do it for them, but you never talk about why you want to do that for them. And that's what that talk was about.
Why I want to do what I want to do for the clients and customers.
Yeah.
Right. Um, right. Let's go through the ridiculous, obvious, silly answers before we get to something sensible, okay? So, why do I do what I want to do? Because it's my job, because I want to help you, because you're paying me for it. Okay, how's that going so far?
But that doesn't answer any of the why do you why do you want to do it? Like for John, okay, for Johnny, he wants to help the small guy, the investor that can't afford to do a lot, doesn't have the time, money, resources to do all the all the work on their own. So he wants to simplify things for people who don't only have a limited time and limited resources, because it's important to him to get them access to some type of investment and financial security. That's his why. That's his why. This is what I'm doing. He's not saying how he's doing it or exactly what he's doing. That's his why. Like, I want to do that. That's important to him. For me, I haven't defined it that way, but it's like I've told my clients, I kid with them all the time, but it gives them, again, that puts them in the right mindset and gives them the right confidence. For me as an individual, it's like I tell them, I have healing in my hands. Come in, whatever issue you have, I'm going to fix because I have this gift. Okay, that's my why. It's like it is. It's my calling. It's like I've realized after 25 years of doing physical therapy, massage therapy, fitness training, that yes, I can pretty much fix 90% of any ailments out there. I can eliminate people's need to get orthopedic surgeries. Um, I can get to strengthen their immune system if they have problems with their immune system. So I do all these things, and yeah, that's my calling, that's my gift, and that's what I'm giving to the world. And I kind of say it in a way that's very egotistical, but they know I'm doing it tongue in cheek, that I'm kidding to a point. But in reality, it's true. It's like, this is my calling, this is my gift, this is what I'm giving to the world. And it's like, you must come in if you want to be healed. That's my why. It's like, I know I have this power, and this is what I'm giving back to the world. So it's not like you come in 3 days a week, you're going to have a calorie deficit, you're going to drop some weight, you probably average 2 pounds, 2 to 5 pounds a month. We use kettlebells, we do this, we do that, and then, I will massage your back if it hurts. That's all the hows and the what. But I do get to that why pretty quickly when I talk to people, and they do get that. just like he was saying in that talk. It's like you have to you have to get that connection, and then they're going to care about, well, okay, well, I get you, Graham. You want to do, you want to help me because of A, B, or C. Okay, so how are you going to do it? And the way it sounds like you do it is you do the reverse. Is what he was saying is you tell them the what, you tell them the what and the how you're going to do it, but you, I don't hear you talking about the why you want to do it for them or help them.
Okay, there's a lot there. Let me break that down. Uh, okay, let me just write this down. So I'm going to go through a couple of points, like, and then when I get to the end of the points, I'll give you an opportunity to respond. But I want to go unless you feel it's better to stop me after each point, we can do that. But I want to get through all the points that I made while you were speaking. Okay, so that I just get them out right now, and you can maybe pick what's most important. So the first thing is that Johnny's why sounds to me like a what, not a why. And so maybe I need to redefine the difference between what and why, because what you described to me doesn't sound at all like a why. It sounds very much like a what. The second thing, uh, to have a calling, I see as very much a mask for not exploring why we're doing what we're doing. Um, and people don't come to me for my why, they come to me for their need. Okay, those are my thoughts.
Well, repeat the first one.
Okay, Johnny's Johnny's why sounds like a what?
What he does? No, what he does is he does a bunch of shitload of research so that when they do come to him, he's like, okay, well, what's your budget? Because he hasn't, and that's the thing. He never talks to us about the mechanics of his business. You know,
I've noticed that.
so we don't know his what because if we were to go over it, we would see that's his what. It's like I do a shitload of resource, a ton of research. I want to know what your financial resources are, and then I'm going to set you up on an account in some way to get your money into the funnel to invest it. Like I don't know the nuts and bolts of how he does any of his stuff, but that's what he does, and how he does it. He never explains that to us. Okay, so I have no clue. Like I own a brick and mortar business. You know, I have a studio. You guys seen it on the video. You guys seen me train people, and like yeah, a few of my trainer people was like, I would like to know the actual program you're doing because I see everybody doing different things. You know, and why are they doing them and this and that. So I'll show my what's in my house, but as far as why I'm doing it, it's like because I have healing in my hands and I it's and well I'll go to the calling part. But anyway, as far as his why, it's like for the small guy. Now it's like that's his why. It's like I feel that's his core. And as far as his what and his how, I don't think he's explained any of that. It's like okay, because that makes me want to know. Like that's what the guy was saying, Simon
Okay.
Sheck or whatever his name is. He's like, Johnny says, I want to do this for the small guy. That resonates with me. Okay, then, so now that I know he wants to help the small guy, I want to know the how and the what. Like, well, what are you going to do for me? How are you going to do it? Because you're saying you want to. So he's starting from his why. And then because I know what his why is, I want to know what he's going to do for me and how he's going to do it. He's
Oh,
not explain. He doesn't explain his what and his how in his elevator speech. That's my take on it.
okay. Um, it feels like it's not enough if someone asks me, why do you do what you do? To answer, because I enjoy it, because I learn when I'm doing it, and because I'm good at it, and maybe if I work hard, I can be great at it.
That is probably the most transparent thing I think I've ever heard you say. And that's probably yeah, that is a solid why right there. And it may sound insignificant to you, but that's probably the biggest breakthrough I've heard you say in regards to anything that you do as far as your business. And I'm not saying Johnny's worked on explaining his why. Like I think he core idea of for the small guy, small help the small guy. Does he need to flesh that out so it resonates more? Yes. Do I have to? Yes. That's where we fail in our marketing. I think we know our why. Like I think I'm getting mine across. I think Johnny's getting his across, but we're not getting it. We're not getting it out wide enough or deeply enough for it to resonate so deeply that we're getting people coming in left and right. So I'm not saying his why is perfect or my why, the way I explain mine, is perfect, but I feel like that's where I'm starting because it is hard for me to explain what I do. And when people come in, that's when I tell them. It's like I had a lady come in, she has sciatic problems. I finally got her to come in. So I have her on the table. I'm working on all that stuff. Meanwhile, I'm having a boot camp class go on, in the gym, and it's a small place. It's all together. So that's when I tell her. It's like, see, it's kind of hard for me to explain through text or on the phone or even in my advertising what I do because basically eliminating something that you've gone to 3 or 4 different medical clinics to have analyzed and treated, and I'm fixing it right now, but I'm also conducting a boot camp class at the same time. I said, so it's really hard to explain that so people don't get confused exactly how things work here. So that's my how, my what and my how is really hard to explain as far as my advertising. So I always tell them, I come in and I'll fix you. That's what I do. That's my why. That's what they see. It's like, well, okay, well, you fix me. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? I'm trying to start from that why. I do start from the why, and I work out to the further concentric circles that he did in that diagram. I'm not good at relaying it, but that's how I'm working. And Johnny's doing the same thing. He's like, I'm doing small investment for the small guy. That's his why. He needs to flesh out his why, but he's starting from the middle and working out. Because it's like, okay, for the small guy, well, what are you going to do for me? How are you going to do it? And I think with you, I see the opposite. You are very good explaining at what you do and how you do it. But what you just said, as far as that is not something I've ever heard you say before. And I think that's what's going to resonate with clients more, or at least be part of a resource. If you don't want to see it as levels, it's one aspect that I think you need to start including in your sales pitch, or whatever way you want to say it, so you don't sound like you're a car salesman.
Yeah, it still seems very intangible to me, the whole principle. Um, can you tell me why what I said about my why is important?
Because anybody can teach English. Now, whether you teach it better than anybody else, great. But that's what he's saying. People don't care. Like there's well, I don't know. Say there's 10 different luxury cars on a level. Why do you pick one over another? You know, some people could say, well, you have a analytical mindset or whatever. You're going to go through everything, but in the end, it's it's they're the why behind why they put different features in the car, or you know why one is more comfortable than another. It's gonna in the end you're gonna get to that why. There's gonna be something very personal of your choice of luxury cars. You know, it's like you teach English. There's other people that teach English. Why are they going to choose you? It's not going to be because of features and benefits. It's going to be for something deeper than that. You
I
know,
don't, first, I still have problems defining what it is for myself, and I have absolutely no idea how I would convey this to somebody without sounding arrogant? And I know that's a second step. I know the first step is defining what that is. Um, well, let me put it in another way. I gave you a definition, and you said that definition was an example of me heading in the right direction. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I
whoa whoa whoa
feel
whoa
like
whoa 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 slow down slow down slow down slow down slow down. Let me get this right. I can't even remember what I said.
I'm
That's
going
why.
to say this. Oh, you're part of, I think, part of the reason, and part of the reason that I consider you a good friend is because you have supreme confidence in everything that you come to any conclusion to. And when you feel you're not sure of something, you have supreme confidence in being comfortable relaying, I'm not getting this. So you're very black and white with your thoughts. And if you're completely confused, you have no problem saying that either. So when you're talking to your clients and saying, this is what I do, I think the confidence in in your ability to do that, I think resonates with them. But that's I think that goes with any business owner. It's like if somebody's going to give Johnny their money, they want to know that he's very confident in what he's doing. If I'm somebody's coming in and says they tell me I need shoulder surgery, what are you going to do? And I start cranking their shoulder in a circle. And I'm like, I'm going to fix this. You don't need to have it cut on. I need to relay that complete confidence as well. So it's what's behind that confidence. It's like, well, you're confident that you can help me. Why? It's like that's what you feel. I feel you need to get to. Why are you so confident that you're the best teacher out there? Not don't tell me how. Don't say because I do because my classes are structured this way, or because I get these results, or like I don't want the hows and the what. I want the why, the deeper why.
Well, let me give you two examples, and I don't know if either of these examples are good, right? The first would be I've been doing this for 15 years, and the second would be 98% of students who have done exams at the end of their courses have passed, which is a really high success rate. That's why should they choose this school? Those are answers. Those are answers to that question. Why should I choose this school? Well, first, I've been doing this for 15 years, which is almost every day for 15 years, which is a long time. So over that period of time, I've learned a lot, and I've kept a lot of clients. And secondly, um, the school has a very high success rate with students doing international exams. That doesn't seem to be right as an answer? Is that what and not why, or what the fuck? I'm
Yeah,
confused.
that's what you have done. That doesn't mean they're going to do that. There's a possibility that they're going to be part of that 98 percentile, whatever it is you're saying.
Okay,
But
so
it's not
can
like, well,
let me
okay,
let me,
well, why choose you? It's like this car is very comfortable and saves gas. This
can
car is really
can
comfortable and saves gas.
okay
But why one over the other?
okay. Would it be right then to say if people don't come and say why should I choose this school? They never. No one has ever asked me that question.
That's not, yeah, because they don't, like I said, and I have to get this audio to you. It's a case study on a sales, one of these mentors in one of these groups explained as far as selling somebody a personal training package. And she just kind of goes over because she had to go out of her comfort zone. She had to go off script to try and capture this person to get her back in to do the sale. And it's an explanation of a lot of different things as far as selling. And that's what I want you to do is put your moral, ethical, high ground just way when you talk about the art of selling, because it's not about ethics or anything right now. You're learning the tactics. Okay, don't put a judgment on any tactic until you start utilizing it the way you feel is best for you. because I know it's like you have this judgment, like money, like manipulating money. Like if you get money from somebody, you have manipulated them in some way. And it's like, no, you haven't. You've offered the service because you have your why. This is why I do it, but this is what I do for a living. So this is what I charge so that I can have a life and have a business. And there's no manipulation there. You can call it manipulation. It's like, oh, well, he does need money because he has to put food in his kid's mouth. Well, yeah, but that's a reality. That's not a manipulation. You can call anything you want a manipulation, but put that on the shelf for now is what I'm saying. Um, the it is selling, but your why, like your deeper why, you're saying they don't need to know that. All they need to know is they're gonna my success rate is high. You know, they're gonna get everything they. I'm gonna tell them exactly what they're gonna get, the what and the how. They don't need to know my why. You know, and I don't think, especially in this day and age with transparency, I don't think you can leave that part out because that's the whole mindful marketing thing now. It's like every company can get their product in people's faces, especially online now. It's like what's going to separate you from the other people? It's your why. It's like why is it going to resonate? Because you're going to build your tribe, and your tribe is built from your whys, not your hows or your what.
I I very much get that principle of leadership, which we're getting off topic here. We're just gonna drift into principles of leadership and how people follow people in other companies and things. And we all know all that stuff anyway. Um, but let's stay on track here. I feel very much like the why is not a concrete thing. Now that might be because I haven't defined it yet. It might be because I'm not sure. It might be because I don't know, and maybe that's why there's not much substance to it. Um, and yet there's a very simple answer to a lot of those principled ideas of why should you choose this school? Because the school is good at what it does. Because the school does what
Why?
it's this 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 school does what it says it's going to do. And you're going to say
Why?
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 Um, because I keep my word.
Why do you keep your word?
Because I'm honest.
Why is that important?
Because if I'm not honest, I'd be a motherfucker and everything would fall apart eventually.
Yeah, that's a core. That's a core value. That's part of the why.
See,
Someone
that
that.
haven't got anywhere there, right?
That's what I'm
That,
saying. But see, I've explored it to a point. Like I say, your marketing, like I said, what Simon Sheck is saying is like you. I'm not saying it's a bad way to do it. That's I think where your frustrations are is you go from the outside in, and it's like maybe they don't get to your why, and your why isn't as important. You've fleshed out your what's in your house to your clientele, but then you get this frustration. It's like, why don't people get it? Or it's like, why do I charge 25 instead of 30? It's like because by the time you get to that inside, you haven't defined it. Like you're the why is the base. Like this is the why, you know. And I will tell you how I'm doing everything else. But are you buying into my why? Okay, well that's your core. That's who you are. If they're buying into your why, you should never want to offer a discount because they've understood you completely. When if you're like, okay, this person gets exactly why I'm doing something. Why am I going to take less from them? What? Because it diminishes your why. Like if you point, you're never going to offer a discount that you feel is unfair to what you want to charge. So getting them to that why, then explaining, okay, well, it's gonna this is why I do things the way I do it. You know, and yeah, it's going to be interwoven into a sales process. But if you start from that why, and they ask, well, how much, you're going to be a lot more confident saying it's 30. And if they question it, they're questioning everything you're doing this for. Okay? And if they're doing that, then screw them. You know, it's like if you don't get what I'm doing, if you don't feel if it's that value, then there's no reason for me to explain how I'm the benefits and the features. Like if you're all to say, oh well, I get what you're doing, but I'm looking you in the eye and I'm saying you're not worth it, Graham. It's like, well, okay. Then you can okay, well, as far as the sales process and not getting touchy feely, then you get into the benefits and features. Okay, it's like, okay, well, you want it 25 and I'm saying 30. Well, it's 30 because of this, this, and that. You're getting this, you're getting this, you're getting that. So again, if they object to that, okay, well, it's like, is this the person I really want to work with? They're just going to try and lowball me because they need a deal. Okay, well, if they need a deal, you should have started at 35. Like I said, that's what I do. I start high because I know I'm going to go down, you know, but that's part of the sales process too. Like I'm always going to feel better if I feel like they're getting a deal, but that's what this lady goes over in this sales call that I'll get to you. It's like some people just want a deal. If they get $5 off a $20 item, they'll do it. And the same person will spend $1,000 if they know they're getting $100 off that deal. It doesn't matter how much the product is. They just want to feel like they're getting a deal. You know, it's not a matter of being cheap. It's not a matter of the price point. They just have a personality where they want to feel they're getting a deal. Then you go there, but start with your why. And if I feel you'll be a lot more confident sticking to your prices if you do that. You know, because that was part of your frustration you said you've had for the last week and a half or so.
Yeah, there's a very powerful connection between those two things because the reason why something changes is because it's not fixed. It's not fixed because it's not certain. It's not certain because I don't know what it is. And okay, let's do a 2 minute of you drilling me with questions to get to the core. It can be what it can be, just you can use the why, but start with start with the general question about the core value or the reason for choosing this business as a service, and I'll give you an answer, and then see if we see how deep we can go into any reasons for the answer.
I'm all for that. Let's try, but let's get back to two things before we do that. One, the other two questions that you
Hmm.
asked, but the other one is as far as strategy, and I this is what I do. It's like I feel better if I give a deal, so I will quote higher so that I can say, look, you know, it's and I like I'll say, for instance, like you were saying, yours is 30. I would say even if they don't ask for a deal, I'll say they'll ask, well, how much? I would say, well, it's 35, but because you're a teacher, I'll make it 30. Okay, I feel good that I'm giving them that feeling of getting a deal. And I think that's what you want to feel too. Like you want to feel like you're giving them a deal. Okay?
Hmm.
So you don't have to drop below your 30 because your 30 is your hard deck.
Hmm.
It's like you're not going below that.
Hmm.
You know, you can't go below that.
Hmm.
So in regards to your strategy, that's just part of your sales tactics. So go a little higher. Now that's the
Ye-
thing. If
ye-
if you
Yeah, but
now
if I go a little higher, I'm going to cut off people's heads before they even come in because
well
people are
that's
going to
what
people are
what
going to
I
see the higher price and just not even try.
well that's just it. But when people come in, there it's a pre-qualified lead because they already know what the prices are.
Yes, if they come in.
Now there's a whole other thing. The very frustrating thing is do you do you do you broadcast your prices at all? Like with me, I don't. Like with fitness, it's very like I can have a promotion, um, but I don't. It's something that I don't like to do. But yeah, the price on anything is not defined because some people are like I can only come in twice a week, or I'm only open 4 days a week. Well, what's unlimited? Well, 4 days a week is unlimited. You go, yeah, it's the only time I'm there. Um, but I can only come in 3 times a week. Well, that's still a lot, 3 or 4 or whatever. So I get into this whole thing about I tell them you want to lose weight or you want to rehab your shoulder. You're giving like but I can only come in twice a week. So how much is that? It's not the amount of times you can come in. If you could come in 4 days a week, I have so much more time to fix your shoulder. If you can only come in twice a week, I have to do in 2 days what I'd like to do in 4 days. So the price is the same because I'm trying to do everything I possibly can in those 2 days that I would rather do in 4 days, but you only have 2 days. So there's these ways that I do it so that I don't have to define exactly what the price is until I know what the person wants. Because people say, well, how much is it? I said it can vary. Just depends on your health. It could be anywhere from $100 a month to $300 a month. I said, but you really need to come in. So they'll look at that 100. Oh, well, I'm going to come in and hopefully I get the low price, But after a while, it has to be some pre-qualification. It's like if you're looking at 35, you know, you know, or come in for a free evaluation, something. I'm not the best at price points, and I don't know how it works in your business. But as far as the sales tactic, it's like I know most boot camps cost around 150 to 175 a month, and that's what I charge. But my lowest discount is 125 if they pay for 3 months in advance. So I'm getting 375. But I only offer that. I only offer that to teachers because my wife's a teacher and I know their whole situation. So I have my different philosophies. Is it the best way of doing it? No, because I still have to work on those things for myself, so I can't say I'm the expert. So aside from that, what was the second question?
Oh, it wasn't a question. It's not even really that important. It was just defining. It was just redefining the terminology of a calling. It doesn't really matter. I mean, uh, in my experience, when I have heard in the past somebody say that I do what I do because it's a calling, the phrase just seems to be a mask for not exploring deeper reasons or issues for something. Um, because I think far more powerful than the principle of something being a calling is, uh, can I actually make a living doing this? So I think there are far more fundamental drivers than that. Because if something was a calling, we'd all be doing it for nothing, right? I mean, you don't do a calling and then worry about the financial aspects of it because that's the opposite of what a calling is. So it's just I would define that differently according to my experience of that.
Well, okay, two things. One, I'll say before I get deeper into the other one. One, a multimillionaire would probably tell you right now, your calling is teaching people English, and Graham, you are doing it for nothing because all you're doing is making a living from it. You're not making $1 million in savings a year. You're not growing a business that you can get out of, that you can have other people teach. You are doing it for free. All you're doing is making enough money to have some financial security year in and year out for your family. So that's what a millionaire would tell you right now. Like as far as perspective on that, that is your calling, and at this moment you're kind of doing it for free, just like I'm doing it for free. I'm not I'm not doing it so that I can make a lot of money, because I'm not doing it in a way to make a lot of money. Okay. Now, as far as the calling itself, yes, like I don't think I can see your point of view as far as not like, well, you can say you have a calling because you haven't looked deeper. But there's a whole opposite way. Then the way I look at it is I've looked deeper and I realize it is a calling. It's like I've said, okay, well, fitness sucks. I hate people. It's like they're a pain in the ass, you know? It's like I don't want to do it anymore. What else could I do? It's like, well, I'm good at research. I have a degree in history. What could I do? A totally different career. And I've considered that at times. And it's like then I go back to no. I have a gift. I have a true gift. It's something that I still love to do. I'm frustrated with the nuts and bolts and defining boundaries and all these different things that require me to do things to be a better business person, which I'm not naturally. But I do have a calling for this. This is what I want to do the most. So I have looked deeper. And in the end, it's like, that's what it is. It's a calling. It's like, it's regardless of what might be an easier life for me to have doing something else, that's not what I'm called to do. I'm called to train people. So for me, it is because I've been much more introspective. So when I say a calling, that's what I'm meaning. It's like, well, yeah, it's I've tried to go the other way. I've tried to hide from it, escape, whatever else you want to say. But that it's a calling. It calls to me. It calls me back each time that I try and do something different. So that's what I mean when I say a calling. It's like it always calls me back. Like that's what I do. It's a calling. And yeah, I've definitely ruminated over it, and meditated over it, and frustrated over it. So
Hmm.
third one was what?
Um, to read my little note here. I don't think that people come to me or come to the school because of my why. I think they come to me because of what I can deliver to them.
There's a certain amount of people, I agree, that are going to come, and it's that an easy way to look at it is those four personality types, uh, that personality matrix thing that I shared last week. There's four. There's the controller, the analyzer, the promoter, and the supporter. And again, another video I can get to you where the guy breaks the personal training groups up into their four personalities. So they choose which one they feel they are. They go into their groups, and then he shows them why they make decisions the way they do. Well, he's like, so when you're writing an email or you're talking to one of your staff or you're trying to sell a client on a package, if they're a supporter, say, the more in shape you are, the happier your wife's going to be. Okay, because they need to know that someone else is getting enjoyment out of them doing something for themselves. Okay, and that's me. I'm a supporter. I know exactly how that feels. So telling them, like, okay, so that's gonna help your family. That's gonna help you help your family more. That's the supporter. If it's an analyzer, it's like, okay, if you do this over the course of 6 months, you will average 2 pounds a week. You will be 20 pounds lighter. You will probably gain. You'll probably be 2.5 times stronger than you were. So you will eliminate probably at least 60% of all aches and pains that you have now. Like you talk about the statistics of exactly what it is, because that's how they live their life. It's like I want to know this is going to happen. This is going to happen. I want to be able to measure everything in my life. Okay. So again, like if you look at Ryan's emails, like you see he puts those things in. Like there's a certain amount of statistical analysis for the analyzers. So it's like if you tell them these are the things that you want to do, I will eliminate 65% of your pain. You will lose 20 pounds. You will get 2.5 times stronger. Those are the analyzers. And then the promoters are the ones that are like, hey, come in, we're going to have a good time. Like everybody gets along here. Like you're gonna look so good. You're gonna be walking out to the club or to see your family or whatever. Everybody's gonna love you. They're gonna ask you, "What are you doing?" You're gonna tell them you've been working out. People are gonna ask you to help them move stuff. You're gonna be so strong. They're gonna be wowed by you. Like you're the life of the party. That's what a promoter is. It's like you tell them how much more of a life of the party you're gonna be for them. Okay. Now the controller. I had said all this just that I needed to get to this point. The controller doesn't care about any of that. It's like you don't need to sell me. I already looked at all your shit, and yeah, I'm gonna sign up. Now that's who you want to. The way you talk, that's who you want to sell to. Somebody who's just gonna listen, believe what you say, and just do it. Because the controllers are like, okay, fine, you know what you're doing. Where do I sign? They don't want to know anything. They don't want to know how it's going to help other people. They don't want to know the stats. They don't know how much of a life of the party they're going to be because they're learning from you. They already know all that shit, and it's like, let me just sign up. And that's the audience that you tend to want to just sell to. Now, if you want to target your audience to that type of personality, I'm not sure exactly how you just get to those people, but there's the other three types, and it's like I think you have to take that into consideration. That you're not always going to have those controller personality types. You're going to have to you know you're going to have to talk about other things that are going to resonate with those types of people. So when you say, well, I don't think they care why I do it, the controllers don't give a shit why you do it, you know but there may be other types of people that do. Because like somebody may say, okay, well, Mercedes Benz is like rated number one in these three um, consumer service organizations. Rate them number one. Okay, that's enough for me. I'll get it. They don't know how comfortable it is. They don't know how much of a pain in the ass it's going to be to take the mechanics. They don't know all these things, but they look at it's rated number one in these three different consumer guides, so I'm going to get it. Fine. If you can just find that audience that does that, you'll always have a lot of people uh, coming to your place. But there's people that want to know the why.
Okay, that's interesting. It still doesn't solve the problem of my why, and it does relate to a lot of things. Even something I had a long discussion with one of my clients about what I call the prejudgment that most people seem to make a decision in their mind about a, the result of a conversation or an event or buying a product before they're actually in the process of the activity. It seems to me from my experience with people that almost everyone is so the classic example is that people who come to my school seem to have already decided that they want to take a course before I give them the marketing speech. Like, no, obviously not everybody, but I could say like at least 90%. They seem, it doesn't really matter that much what I say. They seem to have already pre-decided this. And it's like with someone who the stupid classical example is someone who supports a political party, right? This is just it's easy to understand here that if they get positive information about the political party, they're like it reaffirms their belief and they feel positive about it. And if they get negative information about the political party, they just ignore it and say, well, that can't be right. It doesn't fit in with my history and my experience. And so they continue down the same path no matter what information they get. They don't apply the principle of information changes situations. For them, information is to be accepted or rejected depending upon my point of view at that moment in time. And um, and so this is one of my struggles in marketing is it seems to me that people have, in fact, I actually tested this a little bit last week with a couple of students who came in, and I, I, I pushed them hard on a, there are lots of other schools, there are lots of other ways, there are lots of other methods. You don't need to choose this way and this road and this method. And I pushed them really hard on it, thinking that 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 maybe what I could do for them was not the best, but it seemed to me that I was just hitting a brick wall. It seemed to me they had completely already decided they were going to take a course before they even came into the school, and that
Yeah.
what I was saying, um, to a certain extent, didn't matter that much. Of course, I was given all positive information and marketing speech, and trying to make the people feel comfortable and welcome, and the course was going to be what they needed, and making sure that the course is what they need as well. Um, and yet there seems to be, um, what I wrote on the chat when I watched the video that you posted, the TED talk, was that, um, what did I post on the TED talk that, oh my God, I got to check it. There was something I wanted to repeat uh, from from that. One second. Uh, the blue parts are my parts, right? Um, yeah, did he seems to assume that most people are conscious and thinking. And I'm sure his audience were conscious and thinking, and his presentation was designed for his audience, and it was targeted very directly. But I think if he had made that presentation to a group of average people, it would have gone right over their heads. So,
Well, I think the point of it is, like with Apple or the other examples you gave, it's I like for me, I would say this, and yeah, I guess I'm working more on my why. Uh, I know that the body as a whole can heal itself of a lot of different ailments, and sometimes it just needs to be guided and just make sure that it's being done properly, so that you don't need a lot of medical treatments, so that you become stronger within yourself. And sometimes just needs to be guided by that, and you don't need to feel like you're always asking doctors for solutions, that you start to understand your body can heal itself. Are you interested in doing a training session with me? Now, if I were to say, come in, you'll lose, I can go over the benefits. Come in, I'll get you to lose 20 pounds. Well, everybody can say that, but not everybody's going to say the first thing I just said, you know? So it's like catching that interest, it's, did they want that? Maybe they didn't even know they wanted that, but that's my core, that's my why. Like, if I can capture them with that, I don't have to deal with all the slick salesmanship. Like, I don't care if they lose 20 pounds or not. Would it be healthier for them? Yes. Um, would it make them happier? I don't know. All I know is I can make people happier if they're looking at things from my core values, my whys. Like, if I'm resonating my whys with them, then the hows and the whats and the results actually are very secondary. And that's how I am with most of my clients. It's like what my philosophy on fitness isn't about looking perfect. It isn't about um, even performance. It's a lifestyle. And so that, yeah, if you want to go drink wine all on Friday night, drink a whole bottle of wine with your co-workers every Friday night, I'm going to do everything else to keep you healthy. Like, I'm the buffer against all the things that may cause your health, or if you have an ache or pain, whatever, I'm here. You know, I don't care about the healthy, you know, uh, lifestyle. I never have. I come from a bodybuilding background. That's not a healthy lifestyle whatsoever. I don't want people to be in pain, and I want people to be functional enough to do what it is they want to do. Are you interested in coming in to train with me? That I think sells more than I'm open 4 days a week. I use kettlebells. I use pulleys. Um, I have you go through 3 to 4 days of workouts for about an hour, and then I stretch you, and then I work on your knots afterwards.
Okay, can I
Yeah.
jump in right here? So I what I think that I understand is that I don't know if it's getting closer to my why or not. All I'm getting is um, that I don't teach English. I improve your quality of life. It's not about learning a language. It's about a lifestyle that you want for yourself in the future. You're here because you want to change something. You're here because you want a better quality of life. And this is what I offer, the opportunity to have a better quality of life.
Take exact when you look at the recording, take exactly what you just said and just turn it around to, do you think you would like? Do you think you would like to learn English and improve your quality of life? Do you think, like, if these are things that people want to do, that's the core level, that's the why. And then you can get into the features and benefits after. But I think, and it's like what the guy was saying, is like, I don't think he's necessarily saying there's a right way and there's a wrong way, because a lot of marketing is built on features and benefits, the hows and the what. Okay? So he's not saying you're going to fail if you do it that way. He's saying some of the best, most successful people do it the opposite way. That they use their advertising, like with Apple. It's like, we help people get to where they want to be intellectually. Well, I can't remember what Apple's message was. We help them do that. They don't even talk about them being a computer company or MP3 company or an iPhone company. They talk about helping people do stuff. And their commercials lately have been that. It's like, it's just really rapid highlights of people doing different things. They're advertising a certain product sometimes, like their iWatch, but they have people running, doing all kinds of stuff, going, you know, getting a reminder that they have to go to an appointment, this or that. They're doing all these things. It's like, this is what we help people do. We help people exercise, get to their appointments on time, do all these things. That's what we like to do. We like to help people get through their day better. Well, we just, the product is the watch, by the way. That's how we do it. But this is what we do. We help people get through their day better by developing a phone that you can buy, a watch that you can buy that will help you with all these things. So he's saying he feels it's a superior way of selling or communicating, because like with Martin Luther King, it was, I have a dream, not like, I have a 10-point plan that, if we hold a certain meeting with certain people every month and make sure that we cover these topics, and that we send a group to Washington D.C. to ask, Congress. That wasn't about that. The speech wasn't about any of that. It was about, I have a dream that all people get together and the whole deal. It's like, that's what resonated with people. So he's just saying that major success in certain people, and it may not be in every, but it is in a lot of people. Their success came from the why out to the what's and the how. Now, I'm sure somebody can do a counterpoint and say, well, these people started with the what in the hows, like, say, Richard Branson. Like, you could say, well, he started Virgin Air. He looked at all the what's in the hows. Like, he wasn't attached to airlines. He wants to go live on the moon. Um, but an airline, owning an airline was the start of that, as far as getting into um, airplane technology. So he wanted to have a successful airline business. So he looked at all the hows and the whats, and the why wasn't as big of a deal because his why is coming from somewhere else. It's like, I want to build up this airline company so that I can eventually build a rocket ship. It's like, that's his why. But him being extremely successful in building an airline was because he looked at all the what's and the hows. Okay, so there's more than one way to do it. I'm not saying it's the only way to do it, because with Branson, he did it the op. He does that with a lot of different companies. He looks deeply into the what and the hows, and makes sure that he finds people that are going to figure out the why in there so that it becomes successful. But because we're small business people, I feel like it's important that at least we address the why, because that's going to be our unique selling point, like why we do things, but also why we're happy doing the things that we're doing too, so that you're not frustrated saying it's 30, not 25, it's 30. And it's like, if the person doesn't understand your why, then there has to be another option than just dropping the price. You know, it's like they're basically saying, I understand why you're doing it completely, but I don't want to pay that price. You know, and that's a whole other, like I said, that's a whole other subject, because some people just want a deal. You could say it's 60, but I'll give it to you for 50, but I would be totally happy for 30. They don't need to know that last sentence. That's just learning. It's like, I'll do this real quick because I know I'm going on. It's like if you owned all the air in the world and somebody just woke up and they didn't really know how to breathe, and you're like, let me teach you how to breathe, and now here's the air that you need to fill your lungs. Well, you can say I'm being manipulative because I'm trying to get them to take my air. You can look at it that way, but it's not. It's like they need that. They want it. It's something that's important to them. It's going to help them live a better life. It's just part of that. This whole money thing for you is it's it's not a manipulation. It's not chicanery. It's not trickery to get the money that you feel you deserve. Like, you put that in your way. It's like, yeah, I want to raise my prices too, but I don't. I still feel like I'm trying to, every penny I earn. It's like, yeah, it's like, really, like this lady with the shoulder thing I fixed this week. She was ready to have surgery. Now she's not going to have surgery. She can't pay me what I truly am worth. So part of it is like just being at peace with the whole sales process and the money and the whole deal. So
I think that was far more profound than you realize. Or maybe you do realize. I don't know. Yeah, I get the mechanics of it. The implementation of it is still um, abstract. Are we any closer to understanding what my why is?
what you said before, where I said you were transparent, being transparent, that was the closest I think I've ever heard you say anything, as far as,
I
like,
can't even remember what it was.
well, look it
It
up.
just
I
it
mean,
just just came out. I had no
yeah,
idea.
the the value that you're adding to people's lives, the value of giving them perspective to see the options that they have in their lives, um, is something that's important to you, I'm
Mhm.
thinking. So that's part of your why. It's like, and it's like for us, it's that way with Johnny too. It's like he's giving people financial security. He's giving them the options to build a more financially stable life. And if they happen to die, like I like how he says that sometimes, like in his elevator speech. So in case somebody dies, it's like, oh, what do you do? Yes, yes, yes. What? It's like, I love how he just says dies, because I think that grabs people's attention. I think he needs to. It has to be genuine because it's like, oh, somebody could die. You're right, you know. But that's his thing. It's like he wants to build financial security for people. It's important to him. He makes him sleep better at night. That knowing that he's helped people build more financial stability. And I guess that's a good way to say it. What makes you sleep better at night? To know that you've done that. Like for me, I fixed this lady's shoulder. It makes me sleep better at night knowing that she had a real problem. All these doctors couldn't fix it. I fixed it. I can sleep better at night knowing that I contributed in a way that nobody else could. And the same with you. It's like you're helping these people get to a place where they start to see the options they have in their life, partly because they're learning English and they're having access to more information. But because they're having access to more information, they're opening themselves up to a greater life. And if that's one of your important things that you want to do for people in this world, and it helps make you sleep better at night, then that's your why. And I think that should translate to, especially as small a business as we all have, I think it's important to use that. Like, as far as that's our unique selling point. We're very small businesses, and we need to use the most powerful tools we possibly can to become as successful as we possibly can because we have a limited amount of competency in building our businesses.
Yeah, I can't disagree with any of that. I really can't. I think a key point for me was or has been understanding what has always been there. And in the original description of the school, of course, when I give the elevator statement, it's just like the first paragraph of what is the school, basically. But in the original elevator, the longer elevator statement, there was basically the principle of inner technology and outer technology. And anyone can anyone can fill themselves with information, but not everyone can use the information that they have in a productive way in their life. And what makes the school different is that we focus not just on putting information, informing people, shaping people, but in developing the outer technology skills of now that I have the information, how am I going to use that in the real world? How am I going to apply that? Where am I going to apply that? How am I going to use it to my advantage now that I have these skills? So it's not just building you up on the inside, but also building a person up on the outside as well.
That's a great description. Now, all you have to do is why do you want to do that for people? Why is it important for you?
Okay, let's
Because
do
because
why. Let's do that
because
then.
you
Let's go.
okay because you're good at it. You're very very good at it. Like you're good at it. Knowing that you're good at it, why do you want to why do you want to do it? Like there's things I'm good at that I don't really care to do. There's other things that I'm good at that I'm compelled to do. Why are you compelled to do this for people?
Okay, I feel that the answer to that is not going to be very helpful, which is that why why am I doing this? Because I started a school. Why did I start a school? Because
No, that's what you
like
did. That's not why you did.
the reason why I started a school was because I got fired from my job as a teacher. That's why I started this goal.
No, but you don't even have to. You could be doing this standing on the street if somebody's willing to listen to you. I'm saying, why do you want to do this for people? You could go out on the street right now and say, is there anybody that wants some good advice? And if somebody happened to take you up on it, you would tell them, this is what you should do for your life. Why would you want to tell somebody that? I would go out on the street and say, does anybody have a bad back or a bad shoulder? Because that's what I want to contribute. And that's, as an introvert, I do that, and I do it way too much when I'm at a party or something, which I'm never at. But if I'm in a crowd that I don't know people and they ask me what I do, I'll segue to that and I'll start talking, oh, anybody have an ache or pain? And oh yeah, I got this shoulder thing. And then I'm not socializing, I'm not relaxing. I'm doing what it is I love to do. I'm going back to work. It's my calling. I don't know if Johnny does that himself with investments, but why do you want to do it? Like, why do you want to help people in that way?
Because I don't know how to do anything else.
Is that the truth? Is that the truth?
I don't know how to fix a car if it breaks down. I don't know how to
Could you
start
learn how
with
to do
building
that?
a. Yes. Although it's
If you,
probably not practical at this stage in my life.
yeah, it's you've chosen to do what you do for reasons only you know. Unless you had a domineering mother or father or something, but you got to do it. Be a teacher. Something like that. It's why do you do what you do? What does it give you? What satisfaction does it give you? Relaying that to your students. That was the whole point of the TED Talk. It's as far as marketing, there's you can market from the inside or you could market from the outside in. And as I said, as far as small business people, I think it's much more powerful for us to market from the inside out because we're not good business people. If we were good business people, you'd have a staff of 10 teachers and you would pick and choose to teach whatever you wanted, but you would have a much bigger school and be making what you're making. Okay? But we're not the best business people because we don't have larger organizations. We're not making millions of dollars. We're doing what we do and we're comfortable, but we're trying to move past that. I believe that's the whole point of this, our triumvirate here, making sure that we continue to progress and improve. And, you know, I don't want to have a staff of 10. It'd just be me and maybe one or two other people for the rest of my career. And I just continue to make more money off of the types of things that I like to do. But the why I want to do it is always going to be the same. It's because I want to help people with, I want to help people improve their health without a lot of medical bullshit. That's really a big part of it. I want to eliminate the medical field from your life.
It's
That's a
interesting
powerful.
that
I should write that down.
you'll have it here. You'll have to go back through. I will do something with this video so that you can access it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that you can go back through it. But yeah, it just clicked in my head that the first word in the first real word in your business is health. It's not fitness.
No.
Fitness is the last word.
I've tried to eliminate health for a long time, and I always go back to fitness. Rudy's Fitness and Performance Institute,
No,
or
no, it's
whatever.
Rudy's.
Like I've tried.
It's Rudy's
Yeah.
health. It's Rudy's
Yeah.
health. That's what it
It's
is.
Rudy's Health, and so it's like and fitness, you know. And it's really people don't realize it truly is a little hesitation just to make sure you know what I mean. Rudy's Health and fitness. It's like your fitness is part of it, but I'm looking at your overall health really. So
Oh yeah, because the Rudy's health is what you do, and the fitness is what they understand. So it's both both sides there. Um,
And
so
that's the why. The why is the health. The what and the how is the fitness.
wow, well that's hammered your nail, right?
Yeah.
um, I see all the processes. I see the all of the what's the okay. Is it wrong then to have this focus of a why, which is because if I do this and I work hard on it and I build it up, I can go anywhere and be anywhere. Is that a why or is that not a why?
That is a why. That's one of the reasons why you do what you do, so you can do those things.
Is it because if I have that as a, somebody else, nobody ever asked me, but it's like, why do I do what I do? I'm building a system, hopefully, that will in the future allow me to provide educational opportunities to people and I don't know, the opportunities for myself to travel and not be stuck in the same place. But is that a why?
I think, and this is part of my technique as far as my tutorials for my trainers, prospective trainers, students. I don't think what is Sheck, isn't it? I can't remember. Simon Sheck.
I
He
think
yeah.
Sinek, Sunak.
Shrek.
Shrek.
Anyway, I don't know if he's moved into this arena as part of it because then you can get more into the ET's why, because ET's why is completely different from this. Like your motivation to get up in the morning is so that you can take care of your family. Like it's the base primal why that he goes after with people.
That's an
Um,
external
the
why.
why, yeah, the why. There is an aspect to that. It's like I love to do what I do so that I love to help people. That's a why. I love to improve people's health. Um, but by doing that, I'm able to travel or whatever it is I'm going to do and have some freedom to explore other areas. It's a why, and it's not necessarily relevant to what you're trying to achieve for a student. But as far as marketing purposes, this is what my thing is: being a fan. It's like being a fan. Like I want to know what motivates my clients to come in because I want to be a fan of theirs. If somebody just had a baby and they want to lose weight, it's like I want to be like, hey, how's the baby? Like I don't want to be, come on, get in. I know the baby's crying, but come on in. Like don't worry about that. Just come in. I don't want to have to keep pushing people to do their exercise. I want to just be a fan of their life. And so I want them to feel like I want to go see Rudy because kids, he knows how it is. You know, it's going to be hard for me to lose the weight. But he wants to know how my baby is. He tells me stories about when his kids were young. It's not. It's building. It yeah. You want to say as far as salesmanship, it's building a rapport. But I care. It's like yeah. I'm like these are the only people I see all day. Are the people that come to me to train. Like I'm in my fitness studio, and that's where I'm at. So I want to like them. I want to know their stories. I want to be a fan of theirs. And by being a fan of theirs, I'm not having to push and be so emotionally engaged in pushing them to get to their goals because now there's an expectation. It's like, well, Rudy really understands that motherhood's really, he he's giving me all the resources to lose weight. I better do it because I don't want to disappoint him. Now that's when it changes. That's what a trainer should do, and that's what ET does. He used to say this a lot more. I'm not a motivator. I inspire you to do your own shit. Like that's what I hope I'm doing. I'm not. I don't want to push anybody. I want you to look inside yourself and find your whys and do it yourself. And that's what resonated with me when I first started listening to him because I do the same thing. I was doing that before I even heard of ET. It's like I don't. be the person pushing you. I want you to find your, I want to help you find your motivation. And then what my job is to have an expectation. And I don't want you to let me down because you said you would do this. Because I'm a fan of yours now. It's like you don't want to let down your fans. So that's the relationship I have with a lot of my clients. Now, as far as you being able to go out and travel and not have to sit in an office while you teach, that's part of the whole relationship you have with your students as far as your marketing. It's like, yeah, Graham is my teacher. I was able to meet with him in person. He's going to be gone to Tibet for 6 weeks, but it's so cool because like we went over my curriculum. I have these assignments, and then once a week he's going to check in with me, make sure I'm doing stuff. But then he's going to be broadcasting lectures on top of these mountains, monasteries, and he's my teacher, and I'm going to experience all this stuff and his philosophy he's developing from going to all these places. Like I'm not just getting the curriculum that he told me I'm getting. I'm getting this life experience that I hope maybe I get to do eventually. You know, so by sharing those things with your students, they become your fans. And it helps them become even more bonded as consumers, as consumers to what it is you're selling. So it does play the why. That why doesn't play directly into why you're helping them, but it helps with the whole business model, the mechanism of how you want to run your business eventually.
Yeah, I think your daughters are off.
Yeah.
I think that there's a whole lot of lost history in terms of why I am where I am doing what I'm doing. And I don't feel that it's worth exploring much of it, which might sound like running away. In a sense, it is running away, but it's also running to something. And the why that appeals to me at the moment, the why that I can work with, the why that I can use as fuel is a future why. Is is I'm doing this because first of all I can do it and I can build it, and building it will hopefully give me more opportunities to 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 explore myself and the world around about me and to grow, because there are some answers that I don't have to some questions that I need.
Yeah, and it's like it was interesting because I started listening to that TED talk, and I'm like, he is angling this towards business and marketing. It wasn't just about inventing a aircraft for flight the very first time, or MLK's speech and gathering people to believe a significant movement, having the courage to do that. He was talking about just simple ass marketing. So yeah, I looked up his book that he wrote, and all the a lot of the reviews on Amazon are is what Johnny complains about, and what I complain about too is it's one idea. It should have just been one chapter long because the rest of the book is just repetitive. So
Yeah, it should
I
have just been a TED talk and that's it.
yeah, that's what people said. That's why I went to the TED talk. So people like, just watch his TED talk if you really just want to know what it means. So luckily, I don't know if you've seen Amazon has these summations for certain books, and if you have Amazon Prime, they're free most of the time. So they're maybe 30 pages long, and it basically covers what the book covers. So I downloaded one of those. I'm going to just read through that. His Golden Circle. But yeah, I think what he was saying is like it covers marketing and business, but it covers every aspect. And I don't think he's claiming every successful, significant person starts from the inside out, but it's a way of looking at it. And like I said, as far as small business people, I think that's a much more powerful way of marketing ourselves because it benefits aren't gonna be any better than most people's. Um, it's the why. It's us. It's our like we are the end. We are our why. That's part of it. Like nobody has my healing hands. It's like they just don't. Nobody. You can't just go to somebody and expect the same thing that you get from me. My clients know that. It's like once I start working on them. Nobody's going to explain things the way you explain things as far as your teaching. Johnny explains why he wants people to invest a certain way. Nobody explains things the way Johnny explains things. So we are part of our why, and I think working from the inside out, then we can talk about, okay, I have my healing hands, but now I have my facility and I have my exercise classes and I have these pieces of equipment. That's out there, but selling is that core why me. I'm the reason you should be coming in. So marketing from the inside out, I think, is more relevant for us in our positions.
I have an answer to the why question, but it's not very deep. That the reason why I do what I do is because the more I teach, the more I learn.
I think that's part of what I was saying. Like you don't, you're becoming a fan. You teach somebody. It's like you were saying. You have that made a bunch of money doing nothing. And it's like you're learning from your students. You've become fans of theirs. It's like, okay, what are you guys doing? Like I gave you knowledge. What are you doing with it now? Because I'm interested in what you guys are doing with it. So I'm not saying you're necessarily saying that exactly, but I'm saying you're building. You have that synergy now with people. It's like you're giving them knowledge, what they're going out and doing with it now, and you're learning different things because of their application of your knowledge that you've given them. So that synergy is important to you. So that's part of your if that's part of your why, it's part of your why. But then it's like that's again, like for me, you're doing it in a way that I do it with my client. Okay, I made you healthier. What are you going to go do? Let me know what you're going to do because I'm excited to hear what you're going to do. And I've built that synergy with their health and what they can functionally do now that they're healthier. So I think this is all significant stuff. But yeah, whatever frustrations I have, it's usually the nuts and bolts. They're not paying me on time, or they're not doing this, or they're not doing that. Um, with you, I get your frustrations like they're not understanding. I told them something and they didn't get it, or I posted something in the forum and nobody responded. They didn't get what I was asking. It's like it's because you probably have to explain yourself more specifically, you know. And I think when you start to do that, you are doing it more. Whether it's a how, a what, or a why, if you realize I have to explain things so people understand them because they don't have my brain, they have their. So I have to explain things in different ways so I can hopefully resonate with other people's brains. Then you're not going to get frustrated so much. You can just get frustrated at electronics and throw them across the room.
Yeah, my favorite habit, right? Recently. Um,
All right,
well,
I gotta get my daughter to her sports softball game, so I have to sign off now. So yeah, definitely record this. I mean, I haven't really looked at your conversations with Johnny, but I would really like Johnny to see this. This was, I think, a very good talk we had as far as some base things I think we all need to explore. Now, it just happened to be my idea. That's all. I just saying that.
it has it has kicked my can further down the road, I think. So, definitely going in the right direction. I should have it by mid-December, I imagine. I should have it all.
No, like it helped me. Like definitely let me know the link to this one because there's a few things that I said in regards to my own definition of things that I want to pursue, because I know I'll forget them as soon as I get off the couch here.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, that's why I record everything, because we forget stuff basically. So that's my philosophy. Just make a note of everything, because you never know quite what's going to be useful, and you can always look back and go, oh well. Anyway, never mind. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the time that you have given to me today. I really appreciate it, mate. I owe you one. Thank you very much.
Great conversation. You're welcome.
I'll speak to you soon. Okay, take care, mate.
Okay. Take care.